there's a good argument to be made for there being a lot more at stake when it comes to, the broad thing we call psychedelics,
Hmm.
so.
And how so?
Um,
Like in
you know,
stake and at
psych
stake in what way?
yeah, psychedelics are so, first of all, we're talking about all these different plants, fungi, synthetic analogs, compounds, right? So it's,
Hmm.
different issues apply to different of these medicines, technologies. But we can say that all of these issues are tremendously, like like a lot of intersectional issues arise around
Mm-hmm.
healthcare, health access, affordability, you know,
Mm-hmm.
capitalism, commodification, government regulation, indigenous peoples' rights and rights to you know cultural knowledge and
Yeah.
appropriation and biopiracy. And I mean, I could go on, it's a drug policy reform. I mean, it's like, and so I often think about all of these issues as if they are like stakeholders sitting around a table, because like rather than sort of like a pyramid of government and regulation are at the top or this thing, no, my thing is the most important. It's like, all right,
Hmm.
believe me, everybody's has their own idea of what's the most important thing, but I'm curious about the table and like what happens if we practice listening to what the other very important thing of the other person is, you know, and really
Mm-hmm.
listen from a place of openness.
Mm-hmm.
And as we at the same time carry what we feel is very important. And we have these conversations around law reform because otherwise, it'll be what we also learned in cannabis and what we see in so many aspects of law and society, which is people are just left out. Those people who have power within the system, particularly within this plutocracy, are the ones that will govern. They will decide sort of the outcomes on the other side. And again, with cannabis, we saw what happens when we just crank the same wheel. Okay, let's just do it the same way,
Mm-hmm.
same thing again. Do we really want to
Right.
do that? No. And now we're talking about technologies and medicines that, as you mentioned, come from lineages of people who from all over the world, from indigenous people all over the world, who have and continue to deal with, erasure, oppression, violence, land taking, all the things. And then you replicate this same taking colonialist way of being. I mean, the trauma that that will create for all of us is like, and that's just one of many issues to really deeply think and consider, and we need a really mature approach, again,
Mm-hmm.
at a time of such, mental health, spiritual health, ecological crisis. Like we really, in this country, this obsession with almost like the young and you know this is good and bad, and just this way of like a lot of kind of like ego. And we just need to,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least I feel like we really need to move into like those places of wisdom that allow us to really be in process around all of these complicated things that no one's supposed to know the answer to. We're supposed to be in process and figuring it out together, in the river together, at the table together, in that circle, in circle process, in really embodied circle restorative, process. Yeah.